Well, a very good evening, everybody, and a welcome to Delta T Racing Thursday night. So it's time once again for Division 2. Coming this week, round number 10 from Qatar, so Losail circuit. Obviously built and designed mainly for the MotoGP, but has been a steady fixture on the calendar for the last few years. We haven't raced there for a couple of seasons, so obviously good to see it back. Let's have a look who's going to be the first one out. I have a feeling it might be Andre this week, and it is indeed Andre. Will be the first one out, so we'll stick with him. Okay, right, so yep, round number 10, so just 3 rounds including tonight left of the season. As we can see from the driver's standings, Kazingal taking the lead in the Haas with 137 points, 10 points clear of J5 Gaming, with Pipke on 118 points. So he's by no means out of it either, only 19 points behind. Then we got a bit of a drop back to Riker in 4th, Bogorowski in 5th, 71 and 69 points respectively. Last year champion Summers on 61 points. I think it's going to be pretty difficult for them to retain that title this year. I think it's going to be between the top 3, to be honest with you. But then Moss Isley in 7th, Hummer in 8th, Howard Connor in 9th, and Andre in 10th. So Kazingal could do a lot of good by putting another win on the board tonight. I think he already has 4 already this season. Sure he would be happy to add another one. Right, okay. So let's jump on board with Andre as he goes down this long straight at Qatar. Into turn 1, you can carry a lot of speed into that corner. Turn 2 as well here, missed the apex just a bit. Where we are now, turn 4 is it? Again, these are easy ones to just run wide and invalidate, but you really do need to carry the speed through and use the curves to get your time anywhere near where it needs to be. His teammate just getting out of the way back there, yep. So we go through turn 9 and into turn 10. Again, it's when you need to carry the speed through, so it's sort of more of a minimum speed corner. To turn number 12 should be flat. Let's see if he lifts at all. He doesn't here. Now the left-hander again can be taken flat, which he has done. A little blip down of gears just to give himself that extra rotation. Now round turn number 16 onto the start finish line, and we'll see what time Andre is going to pop on the board for us. So 22.919 is the target for today. Let's see who is on a lap a little bit further round. Bogorowski just about coming across now. Johnny with a 122.8 taking pole position. Summers 22. Oh, Pipke there, sorry. Yeah, Pipke jumping ahead of both of them, 122.7. We've got the other Haas just across the line, 22.773 as well. So sorry about that, but there was a huge amount of traffic coming across, so we missed the finish end of the lap. Brother Adam, 122.979, pops himself up into 7th position. Then you've got, no, it's not Ponder, it's NLD Rush, who goes 2nd position. So not a bad lap there. Composite up into 11th position. We'll jump in the times in a minute. I just want to try and grab people going round. Pombert 22.437 puts him top of the pile at the moment. So the track is evolving, which of course it's going to do. The more rubber that goes down, the more likely we are to see the lap times improve. Who is that just overtaking? It's one of the Red Bulls, but I'm not sure which one. Right, anyways, jump on. Riker's just about to finish his lap and pops in a time good enough for fourth position, so 122.686. So I'd assume we will have people starting to come into the pits shortly. Here comes Pitky, he is into the pits, and obviously there we go. Huge amount into the pits now, because Ingle will come round into the pits. Then we've got a Ferrari next. Or is it Hummer or is it Brown? It's Hummer. I'm assuming after putting second. Oh no, is he going to go for another run? He is going to go for another run. So let's see if Hummer can improve at all on his time. Turn number 1 up to turn 2. Then we've got the little turn 3 here in a short straight up to 4 and 5, and then we'll see whether he is up or not on his existing time. He is, he's only just down, 400ths down, nearly 500ths down, so more than capable of getting that back, especially if he had a bad sector 2 or 3. Could still be a lot of time for him to make up there. Excuse me. 10 and 11, which is pretty much a bend rather than a corner, but here we go, 12, 13, 14, should be flat out, but again so easy to invalidate, which he has. Unfortunate for Hummer, so I'm not quite sure where his time was heading there, but it doesn't matter because it won't count. So right, okay, Connor has not set a lap time yet. Let's jump out a bit rather than sitting on with the cars, and we'll watch the racing ball come down, the pink and white livery. So I'm not sure if both cars are in the same livery tonight or whether there's a slight difference. But we'll find out. We'll have a look later and see what Johnny is in. So where's Ralph? Ralph's a little bit further around, so we'll stick with Ralph for a minute just to see what time he is going to put on the board. Needs to improve on his 23.773. And here he goes into the pits, so we won't get a time there. Havoc Connor has invalidated his lap as well, so we don't actually have anyone out on a valid lap. So that's a bit, yeah. What have we got further? Is that brother? No, it's not brother Adam. Right, so Skipper coming out now. I'm just trying to see who the first person to go onto a lap is going to be. I think it could be the Alpine of NLD Rush, and does look like he's certainly going to go again. I wonder if Connor's going again. Yeah, it looks like it saved up his battery, just backed off a bit, and will put a time in, then I assume come in, put a fresh set on and do his final run. And it's certainly worth just backing off, give it an extra if your tyres can handle it. And we have a purple sector 1 there for Connor, if that can be believed on the graphic. Never quite believe it because it does change quite often and show that you're purple when you're not. I've had that being as pretty much a second down and it still showed me as purple. But never mind, we take it. Right, okay, so Connor now coming to the end of sector 2. Obviously there's no relative because he hasn't set a time yet. Just a few corners left to go. Manages to keep it clean through here, through the left-hander, slight lift. It's down to the final turn 16. Carry as much speed as you can through here without going wide on that corner. And Connor 23.1, so puts himself a little bit. Okay, Kazingle, how is he doing? Notice Bog there just popped up into 4th, which is now 5th, with Moss Isley picking up the fastest lap of the race, or of the qualifying so far. Riker is on an out lap. Andre has come into the pits. So who are we going to go to next? The Ferrari of Ralph is on an out lap, so it's going to be Hummer on an out lap as well. Pit key. Okay, Jack's going to be next then, so the work time can Jack put in 1:22.5, so an improvement in time, but not in position or on a valid lap. Unfortunately, he invalidated that lap there. So, okay, who do we have? Connor now has a lap on the ball. Is that Johnny going for fast lap? He's a bit further back. He's got one of the Red Bulls, so pit P. No, he's the other one of Summers. Right, okay, sorry about all this jumping through, but we will get on with someone who's just about to end a lap. Summers coming across. Can he improve on his 1:22.9? Currently 10th position. He can. 22.537, a 3/10 improvement there. Puts him up into 5th place. So composite, oh, he's on an out lap. Connor into the pits, as is the McLaren behind, not the McLaren, because the McLaren goes fastest, 22.372. Riker top of the pile, just ahead of Moss Isley, who comes into the pits now. We've got the second McLaren now coming out, so Andre will be looking at improving on his 12th position. Hummer, 22.359. I need to try and keep on with people because I think this track is just getting faster and faster. It's not Hummer, is it? Who's the other one? Ralph. How is Ralph going to get on to nearly 3/10 up on his time? Improves by half a second, but only by 1 position. Okay, Jack just about to start his lap there. Do we have... Rush is about to start his as well. So let's stay with Jack for a moment whilst I figure out who else we can go to. Is it Summers? So for some reason my controller wouldn't go up there, but no, Summers into the pits. NLD Rush on to a lap now. Brother Adam has invalidated anyway, so he would be coming in. We've got 2 McLarens behind him. Obviously Riker will be coming in, and Andre's on his out lap. We've then got a Ferrari of Hummer, who is, looks like he's on a second out lap because he's still got 100% battery, so he's certainly not giving it the oomph at the moment. Ralph as well could be heading into the pits for a fresh set of tyres. So behind them we have Jack. So how is Kazingal going to do? Current championship leader, 22.773 in 11th. What can he put on the board and where can he improve to? So 22.321. He takes provisional pole position. So that's the improvement that he's got in him. Pretty vast, to be honest. Okay, so Pombear, so NLD Rush will be the next to cross the line. So NLD Rush did go fastest there, 22.256. So as I say, it is the track is just getting quicker and quicker. Andre now just about to start a lap, or just end a lap. Oh no, it was an out lap, but he seems to have used all of his battery. And pretty much out of fuel as well. So Andre, I mean, we're in 12th position currently. Hello Nathan in chat as well. He's given a shout out for Kazingal. and Andre saying hello to everyone as well. Okay, so what do we have? Kazingle into the pits now. NLD Rush, I assume, will probably follow. We have Moss Isley on a lap, who took pole position not too long ago, but now has dropped down into 5th, just because of the evolution of the track. Time's getting quicker and quicker. So here comes Moss Isley. That was the McLaren of Andre getting out of the way nicely there, which was good to see. So Moss Isley now coming up to the line. What time could he do? 22.188. So takes provisional pole position back again. So this is going to change to forwards and backwards, I think, for pretty much the last few minutes until we get to the end of qualifying. Sort of 1.5 minutes, I think, left. It's difficult to see because we've got the caution up there on the left-hand side. Oh, now it's gone. Yeah, 1 minute 21 seconds remaining. Okay, so who is going to be first? So Ralph is going to be on an outlap. Johnny, where is Johnny? He has already slipped past, and I didn't see him coming towards the end of the lap. Now onto the straight. Let's see what time Johnny can pop down. Needs 22.737, so did not improve on his time, and found an alternate way of getting back to the pits there. Okay, we'll move on anyway. So Summers is on an outlap. Brother Adam has just completed a lap. 22.4. Who do we have next? Nobody who's on a lap, I don't think. Ralph is okay. Let's have a quick look with Ralph and Connor just to see how their improvements are going. So Ralph 3/10 down on his time, so no improvement there. Connor has invalidated, so we're not going to get a better time from him. Moss Isley is going to go for another run on those tyres. Pombear finishing in, well, provisional 2nd, and NLD Rush 3rd, and Kazingle as well in 4th. So they have all crossed the line. Let's see who is going to be next. Looks like it's one of the Red Bulls. No, it's not. It's so hard to tell. Right, so that's Connor has invalidated. Then we have a Mercedes behind, which I think is Brother Adam. So Brother Adam will be next to set a time. Unfortunately, I didn't catch his first sector times there, and he comes into the pits as well. So Johnny is also taking out the marker boards along the way there. Okay, Summers will be next to cross the line, followed by Bogorovsky just behind him. So Summers up into 3rd, Bogorovsky up into 5th. Now we're going to have a mass of cars coming across. Pipke taking provisional pole, 22.156. Moss Isley taking it back with a 22.068. That was on his 2nd run on those tyres as well. Rijkaard deciding he wants pole position, 22.047. How blooming close is this at the top? Jeez. So who is up? We've got Skipper left to... He's 34 seconds down, so that is going to be grid. So Rijkaard taking pole position, 22.047. Moss Isley 22.068, Pipke 22.156, Pombear 22.2. So a 1/10.5 separating the top 4. Let's see if they can transpose that into the race. So well, that was a nice, exciting qualifying. Had absolutely no idea who was going to be on pole position there. It kept changing so blooming often. Obviously track evolution, but also I think drivers just getting used to it a little bit more. But Riker taking pole position. That is his first pole position of the year. So he's been quite strong in the last couple of races. So I expect that he will do well tonight. Obviously starting on pole is as good a place as any to be. So here we go, looking so Riker taking pole position. Joining on the front row will be Moss Isley. Row 2 we have Pipkey and Pombear. On row 3 D Summers and NLD Rush. On row 4 Hummer and Bogarovsky. On row 5 Kazingle and Brother Adam. Johnny in P11, then Andre in 12, 13th Connor, 14th Ralph, 15th Skipper and 16th Composite. And yeah, looking at that, top 10 separated by 4/10, that is insanely close. So we'll see if we can get some good close racing as well. Right, so we are just waiting for the drivers to set their strategy for tonight. I'm assuming as it's Qatar, it's going to be completely dry. We don't often see rain here, or Bahrain, or Abu Dhabi, but it does happen. You know, it has happened as a freak before. But I think we're going to be looking at a completely dry race today. Okay, so here we are on the formation lap. We'll bring it up in a minute and just see what tyres everybody has gone for. So details, what do we have here? So pretty much medium or hards is what everybody's gone for. Moss Isley, the only one in the top 7 going for the hard tyres, everybody else on the mediums. Bogrovsky in 8th on the alternate strategy as well. His teammate Kasingle just behind him has gone for the medium. So obviously the alternate strategies at Haas to try and make sure that there's no overlaps in pit stops, but we'll have to see if we get any safety cars tonight. Not very common here due to the nature of the track. Big runoff areas, as I say, it was designed as a motorbike track, so it allowed for big runoff areas. So not often we see a safety car, but doesn't mean that we definitely won't. Okay, so we'll get rid of those, get rid of that, and we'll follow them round, ready to get to the start. So last on the grid will be Composite. Just at the back of the pack there, so I don't think they're going to be waiting a huge amount of time. But what I've noticed is Riker, Moss Isley and Pipkey have got quite a big gap. Oh, in fact, Moss Isley. No, it's not Summers. Who's out of position there? Is it Johnny? Yeah, Johnny out of position. Should be P11, currently in P3. Obviously wanted a quicker formation lap than they were supplying him. There we go, pulls into his position now. Just waiting for the rest of the cars to come. As I say, last will be Composite. Once he is in position, the green flag will be waved, I believe, at the back, and then the lights will go out. The NLD Rush just missing his grid slot slightly there, so start a meter back. That's it, we are in. Right, okay. So we're just waiting for the lights to come on. Here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. The lights are out and off we go for the Qatar Grand Prix. So a good start there by Riker. Pip P making a pretty good start, making his way up. Mos Eisley unfortunately missing out there. And we then have a bit of a collision going on further back. Not quite sure who that was involved. Looked like Hummer. And we've got one of the Alpines, NLD Rush. Okay, so Riker getting away well, already has a 1.1 second lead over the field, so he really has pulled the pin and gone. We've then got the Red Bulls of Pitby and Summers in second and third position, Mos Eisley down to fourth, so losing a couple of positions at the start of the race there. Pombear in fifth, then we have Kazingal and Bogorovsky both up a few places. So the Haas currently leading the Constructors' Championship are getting themselves back into the points, and Jack actually making a move there. Did he make a move, or did somebody hit or fall off? Well, he seems to be up to fifth with Bogorovsky in sixth just behind him, coming under a bit of pressure from Ralph. So 2.5 seconds that gap to Bog now, to Kazingal now, so he will have lost any DRS and will come under pressure from the group just behind him. But Riker absolutely flying. 1 point. Bog, why has Bog dropped a couple of positions there? He's pitted, that's why. But Bog must have had damage from that first lap. It's unfortunate because he was in a good position. Hummer picking up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Bog does indeed have wing damage. Hummer, yeah, same nose damage. Brother Adam, assuming he's got nose damage as well. So yeah, looks like we had quite a few damaged cars there. But Riker must be absolutely laughing inside his crash helmet there. Nearly 2 seconds clear of the Red Bulls. Although they can work together to try and close that gap, that is already quite a healthy lead. So it looked like it was Rush was potentially the cause of the first corner. Again, just diving in. He's had a few incidents like this recently. So potentially it will have to be looked at to his driving standards on track. Yeah, we never like to lose anyone or dish out any punishment to anyone, but sometimes if people just aren't learning and they are causing other people's races to end prematurely, or certainly for the enjoyment to have gone from it, then it might be something we look into. But Summers making the move on pit key there, so I do believe that these two need to work together. So Ralph just losing a position there to Johnny. Bog coming out in 12, so 23 seconds behind Rush. So a big gap to make up there. He'll be praying for a safety car. But as I said, they are not often forthcoming around here. Rush now closing on to the back of Skipper. Look at that lead now. Riker 3.2 seconds clear. He's just seems so comfortable, to be honest, at the moment. What he wants to do is make sure he doesn't burn those mediums out. Otherwise he's going to start struggling. Very much a tyre hungry track, this one. So you really do need to look after him as best you can. Easily said, difficult to do. Right, let's have a look at some warnings. Who has what? So Mos Eisley has 2 warnings. Hummer also with 2 warnings. Havoc Connor also picking up 2 warnings. So they're not far from a 3-second penalty. So Jack is on the back of this group for 2nd position now. It's going to be long before he looks to make a move, but whether he can get past the 3 in front and then make a dent into Riker is going to be... It's going to be a tough job, but it's still a long way to go. We're only on lap 4:29, so anything can happen. So Jack currently the fastest man on the circuit, or he was till then, with a 25.7. Brother just smashing that with a 25.491. Obviously on those fresh tyres down in 16th, fresh air, or clear air, no dirty air. So Summers trying to break away from his teammate. The gap there about 8/10, but obviously not out of DRS range, and everybody's going to close right back up again now. So Johnny in 6, is he going to come under pressure from Ralph? He doesn't. Connor has composite behind him, but again nothing to worry about there really. Bog soon going to have Andre over the back of him. So yeah, Master Ranger just saying, oh good evening by the way, Master Ranger, I haven't actually said that yet, but yeah, just on his front left yesterday really was 82% when he pitted, so they are absolutely getting shredded here on the front left. So yeah, I think that's one thing Riker just needs to be careful of, because he's got insane pace, 4.5 seconds already the gap out front. So getting on for a second a lap, but as I say, what he doesn't want to do is just burn those tyres out too blooming quickly. Otherwise he's going to find himself in a hell of a lot of trouble in about 5 laps, 4 or 5 laps. Change of position there, Connor coming into the 5th. So it's quite early to get rid of those hards, so I wonder if he has a bit of damage. Doesn't look like it, but he might just be ditching those, going for a couple of runs on the medium tyres to the end. So he will join. Is he going to join in front of Bog or behind Bog? It's going to be close. And comes out just behind Bog and Andre, so we're going to have a 3-way battle there. Hummer and Pombert exchanging positions down the straight. Hummer moving up into 14th, but still has that 10-second time penalty hanging over him. Okay, Summers has now broken that DRS, so 1.3 second gap back to Pipke. That is going to be very difficult to make up, and Kazingle making his move through the field as well, up into 4th past Mos Eisley. I think he started in 9th up to 4th, so a 5 position gain. Still has the DRS, quite low on ERS, but so he'll be able to recharge that while sitting in the DRS of Pipke. Gap at the front to Summers now down to under a second as well, so they have reeled that back in. Riker out front 5 seconds now. So I do wonder if they are starting to just that gap's starting to stabilise a little bit at the front. Let's have a quick look. I can't remember what tyres everybody is on, but yeah, top 4 all on the medium tyres. Then you've got the likes of Mos Eisley and Johnny. J5 Gaming in 6 on the hard, so soon they are going to become the better tyre. Mos Eisley on the back of this quartet in the battle for second is going to be in the better position. But gap at the front still growing, nearly 5.5 seconds now, so I don't know what Riker has eaten this week, but my gosh, he is quick around here. Pipke just having a look there just to say to Summers, I am still here. You know, it's going to move on. Let's push, 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 because that gap at the front, 6 seconds now, just seems to be increasing. Right, last laps. Riker 126.7, Summers 127.6, so 9/10 deficit there. Single's the one I think. Oh, looking most racy there. That's going to be a warning for sure. Jack picking up 2 warnings there. Needs to just be careful now. .4 seconds the gap at the front. So Ralph stuck behind Johnny, and it looks like Pipke, Kazingo and Moss Isley are all stuck behind Summers. Brother Adam picking up the his first 3-second penalty of the day. Hummer we know has a 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Again, further down, Andre stuck behind Bogarovsky. The fog is closing in on Skipper. That was 23 seconds, not well, I say not long ago, a few laps ago. So he is drawing that in and dragging Andre with him. Right, let's get back to this lead group. I say lead group in second position. Summers looking to try and make a break again, but just managing to keep it and draw it back within that second, so he will have the DRS along here. We'll have a quick look to see who's got what penalties. So yeah, all 3 seconds other than Hummer, who has the 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Right, so when are we going to get the first pitters? Obviously the medium runner's going to go on to the hards. Hards going to go as long as they possibly can, so they're fresh tyres towards the end. But who's going to look to try and do the undercut? Obviously it'd be a hell of an undercut if you undercut Riker, but I'm talking about Summers, Pipke, Kazingo and Moss Isley. Who of those is likely to do the undercut? Obviously Summers and Pipke teammates, so they do not want a double stack, so I'm assuming one will come in before the other. Obviously, unless we get a safety car, then it's prudent to come in together. Kazingo picking up a 3-second time penalty there, so that's going to drop him back into 5th position. And Jack is the first to blink. He comes in, he will get rid of those medium tyres, go under a fresh set of hard, see if he can undercut Moss Isley, Summers and Pipke. Obviously Moss Isley I think on the hard, so he'll be going longer anyway. But if he can get ahead of Summer and Pipke, he'll be laughing. But also he has had a broken front wing, so to have that pace with a broken front wing has been pretty impressive, to be honest, to stay with them. Obviously we don't know how damaged it was, but By the by, he is now going to come out just ahead of his teammate, is he, or just behind him? It looks like he's going to make it out ahead. So back out into 10th position, kind of picking up his second time penalty of the day. I do believe he picked up quite a few last night as well in Division 1. Not a fan of this track, but I understand, but then there's quite a few that aren't. Piney Penguin was going to be racing tonight, but obviously didn't like the track, so pulled out. But then in fairness, he is learning on the wheel, just got a wheel, so he's it's going to take a while just to get sort of speed and control back. So fingers crossed he can put some work in and we can see him on track next week. Where are we next week? Abu Dhabi, I think it is next week, and then we finish at Brazil. I'm just going to check that because I might be completely talking out of my backside, but I believe that is what we did. Yeah, Yas Marina next week, and Interlagos being the last race of the season. So, yeah, right, okay. Riker is just a different postcode today. I mean, 8.8 seconds clear of Pitke on the same tyres, and Mos Eisley is on the hards. Obviously, Kazingle we know has pitted. Summers has also now pitted and has come out. Is that 7 seconds ahead of Jack? Jeez, so either there is a horrible warm-up phase of these tyres, or Jack lost a hell of a lot of time in that pit stop. Understand he had a new front wing, but you probably look at 4 or 5 seconds extra for that, but he's dropped down 7 seconds. Gap is closing now, so I do think it is down to tyre warm-up as much as anything, but yeah, certainly the undercut did not work on that. But Jack will still be happy. He has a nice fresh set of tyres and a new front wing as well. So race leader Riker into the pits, meaning Mos Eisley will take over the lead. Johnny will move up into second on the hard tyres, and Ralph into third. Now Riker, is he going to get out ahead of Pitke? Oh no, Pitke is in the pits as well. So who's going to be next to come along? No, Riker out well in advance of who's going to come through? Summers, or yeah, Summers getting ahead of Pitke. So Pitke coming out in 8th with Jack in 9th, but Jack, as they still quite a way back, and so he's lost a lot of time there, 4.5 seconds behind Pitke. Yeah, he's losing time hand over fist, so I'm not sure it's perhaps he was better with a broken wing, to be honest with you. But so still a long way to go, 17 laps including the one that we are on. But Mos Eisley now in the lead, not under any pressure from behind. 6.5 second gap back to Johnny, has some clean air in front of him, and we'll look at taking those hard tyres as far as he can. Just going to make sure nobody went onto anything adverse on a strategy, which they haven't. It's all medium to hard. Riker already past Ralph and back up into the podium positions, with the 2 ahead yet to stop. Ralph now does dive into the pits. He'll get with those 12 lap old mediums and bolt a fresh set of hard tyres on. Let's have a look what's going on just down here a bit. Pitke up into 6, so he's 3.1 behind his teammate. So it looks like the undercut worked for Summers, but then he didn't need a new front wing, so the undercut seemed to work for him, whereas Kazingle seems to really have struggled with it. Yeah, about 8-9 seconds behind Summers as he is now, whereas he only was about a tenth, well, less than a second. Summers penalty. Good spot, Mr. Ranger. I didn't see that. Let's have a look. He's sped in the pit lane. 10 second. Oh, Summers. Jesus, mate. Well spotted, Mars Ranger. I did not see that. So, yeah, very, very unfortunate for Summers there. But he didn't brake hard enough, so it's only his fault. Okay, so Jack now on to the back of Skipper. Is he going to be able to make a move down the start-finish line? So he has saved some of his ERS up, and also get DRS as well. It's a really good exit out of there, but obviously that's a tyre difference. Skipper was literally just harvesting down there anyway. I don't think he knows it's not his fight. Happy to let Kazingle go and continue his battle further up the field. But also Composite currently up in 5th. I know he's still got tyres to change, but still an impressive stint from him. Connor picking up another penalty there. So we don't have too many close battles at the moment. It seems the field has completely spread out after that pit stop phase, which I was not expecting. I thought we would maybe get an undercut and the field was going to bunch up again, but there's some massive gaps there. Let's see if the Alpines can inject a little bit of fun into it. So pretty close to each other, chasing down the Ferrari of Ralph Albers ahead. Oh, Composite just lost the place to Pipke. So Pipke back up into 5th, just over 3 seconds behind his teammate, but his teammate does have that 10-second penalty. He'll be hoping there is no late safety car. Yep, you're right there, Master Ranger. Yeah, if it weren't for bad luck, he'd have no luck at all, Summers. It's, I'll be honest, sometimes it seems to be the curse of a champion. You win a championship and then the next year you kind of struggle a little bit, whether it's you relax because you think, oh, I've done it now and I've won it, or whether the pressure gets, I do not know. But what I would say, I mean, Summers had a fantastic season last year. The few seasons before, he was, you know, he was pretty, he was good. Summers used all his luck last season, it seems. Yeah, Grealish, you're right. Yeah, I think he did. He had quite a bit of luck last year. Helped him to win the title ahead of Johnny. But yeah, this year it looks like he's got an empty bucket of luck. But sometimes you have to make your own luck as well. Okay, so we have Moss Isley and Johnny now pitting, getting off of those hard tyres. They'll be looking at doing 13 laps on the mediums to the end of the race. What position are they going to come out in? So Pipke moves up into 3rd. And Jack does make it past Kazingle. So pretty much as you were before the pit stops, with Riker leading by 7 seconds, Summers in 2nd, but now Summers with a 3-second gap on Pipke, and Pipke again has a 3-second gap on Kazingle, but Moss Isley just behind the pair of them on the quicker tyres. So he'll be making a late charge on the mediums, obviously knowing that Summers has a 10-second penalty as well. Precisely, is he going to put pressure on Jack and go for the move immediately, or is he going to try and use him to pull up to Pipke? A lot of it obviously depends on how quick he is and to whether he can pull that gap in. He's stable at the moment, around about that 2.9 to 3.1 second. Doesn't seem to be making a huge dent into it at all. Precisely, I think we'll probably go for the overtake here. He'll tuck himself in behind, open up his DRS, pump some ERS into it, and he does up the inside here. He'll easily take that before turn number 1 and up into 4th place. What Jack needs to do now is stick with him. I know he has that 3-second time penalty himself, but Mos Eisley does have 2 warnings as well. He does have 3 warnings, but one of them's for a collision rather than corner cutting, so he is still just on that 2-second, that 2 warning, but 1 more, and that is the end for him. Pipkey, what is Pipkey on warning wise? None. So very clean driving there from him so far. But I noticed one thing quite slight is that Bogorovsky has worked his way back up into 7th position. Yeah, I think if you're right, Master Ranger, yeah, I think someone ran out of fuel. But yeah, I mean, you need the luck sometimes. I mean, we've had it before. I can't remember who it was, but I think Magic Poop Cannon was celebrating victory and unfortunately crossed the line, which gave him a 3-second penalty, which meant he dropped from 1st to about 4th. So it's but yeah, I think you're right. I think somebody did run out of fuel last year. So Bog, just me after saying he's working his way up to 7th, comes into the pits, but he'll slap a set of mediums on and take those to the end of the race. He'll obviously have some speed towards the end, but he's going to drop himself right the way down. Oh, where's he going to be? Probably 13th. Oh, actually, he might get out ahead. He's got the Sauber and yeah, gets out behind the 2 Saubers, so bogged down into 12th position. But so with a fresh set of mediums, we'll expect him to go for it. Mos Eisley, though, absolutely flying. He now only, well, literally a couple of tenths behind Pipkey, so has broken that. It was over a 2-second gap, wasn't it? He's broken that within a lap or 2. And he'll be looking at getting past Pipkey. And then he'll be going after Summers. Obviously doesn't need to make the on-track move. Obviously Summers with that 10 seconds penalty. But you still like to do it on track if you can. But I think that will be the end of his journey today. There we go. Past Pipkey and up into the podium position of 3rd place. But Riker really has gone, so the gap's still 8 seconds. He literally eked out about a second a lap over the first 5 laps, and then squeezed a little bit more out to get it up to 6, 7 seconds, and then round about the 8-second mark. And apologies, just got an email there I was just reading. Forgot what I was talking about now as well. So anyway, Bogorovsky up into 11th, so makes his way past Skipper. He'll now be on a charge 4.5-second gap to Andre. But yeah, Riker has just been a different class today. So first round of pit stops came along, he was out round about the 7-second lead mark. Now extended that out again to 8 seconds. So I mean, really nearly 10 seconds if you're looking at Mos Eisley, who will inherit 2nd place. So very, very comfortable for Riker. Doesn't need to put any stress on his tyres at all. Right, any battles going on at all? Andre has now closed on to the pack of composite. But yeah, I'm quite shocked at how spread out this race has become. So, you know, we had a few groups bunched together until the pit stop with some having damage, and but yeah, it's really spread it out. It was looking like quite a close sort of battle at one point, other than Riker who's gone, but yeah, unfortunately that's been taken away from us a little bit. But what I'm going to do, jump back to the front here, because Moss Isley is now hunting Summers down. It will be interesting to see if Moss Isley gets past Summers, what he can do to the gap to Rikers. As I think it's probably a little bit late in the day now, even if he had the far superior speed advantage. I think with only 9 laps, including the one that we are on, to close down an 8-second, well, yeah, over 8-second gap would be something special. But as we say, you know, we've seen it before where people have run out of petrol on the last lap and lost a win, so anything can happen. I can't remember if Qatar is friendly on fuel or not, but by the by, Moss Isley makes his way up now into 2nd position, so Summers down into 3rd. Currently looking at probably 6th position with his 10-second time penalty. Right, so gap 7. Oh, that is tumbling down now actually. So Moss Isley does have pace to burn, and he is closing that in at about a second a lap. So if he can continue to do that until the end, that's going to be quite close. But I think Riker might just get a little bit of a wake-up call now. You've got someone who's actually closing the gap behind. It's you need to put your foot down a little bit and just get on with it. It's all too easy to get into a rhythm of being comfortable and not needing to push, and then when you do have to push, it becomes pretty tough to do. The gap down to 6.8 now. Already pulled out a 1.5 seconds on Summers in less than a lap. This could be on, you know, but Moss Isley really has got a go for it. Who's that ahead of him as well? The lap car of Connor. I don't know if Connor's going to score any points tonight for the Racing Bull team. Just noticing further down, Andre struggling to get past Composite. Now as Bogorovsky on the back of this trio. And we'll see what they can do. What we will do, we're just going to pop up drivers, the constructors, and say Haas currently in the lead, 206 points, so they've got a 27-point lead on Red Bull, and then Racing Bulls are just 10 points further behind. Then got McLaren on 111 points in 4th. I think it is going to be between those 4, but really between the top 3. Red Bull obviously will benefit hugely today, but we have to remember the penalties still have to be applied. So yeah, will be interesting come the end of the race as to where we are with the championship. Obviously Johnny in 6th position, Jack Fist. So Pipke is going to close up on Kazingle. Johnny, obviously he's going to finish behind him, so but he's still going to keep him within touching distance. So both these two pass Composite now, and it will become a straight up fight between the pair of them as to who finishes 9th and who gets the last point in 10th position. They're over 7 seconds behind Ralph, so I think that could be too bigger of a gap to close. Pipke now a 1.5 seconds behind his teammate. But yeah, Jack struggling to find the pace on these hard tyres in the second part of the race. As I had, you know, really good pace on the mediums, but I think, you know, just turning over the hards, he just seems to be struggling a little bit more. Or he could just be settling for the position that he's got, knowing he's got a 2-second gap to Johnny behind, but Johnny is closing. So again, we just need to be careful on that. Gap at the front stabilised again, 6.8, 6.7 seconds. So he has taken Probably another half a second out, but that's over a couple of laps. Certainly not the 1 second a lap he would need to take this victory. And I feel so sorry for Riker because I have hardly given him any airtime at all, and the man has just dominated tonight. So looked quick in qualifying before then pumping in that final pole position time. Then the lights went out and he just went, absolutely went. I mean, it wasn't long, the gap was up to a second, and then he pulled it to a second and a half. Obviously with no DRS behind, he could just eke his way away, and he did, pulled it out to, well, as I say, 8 seconds, 7-8 seconds. Pit stop came along, came out, still had the same gap. He's managed to maintain it pretty much all the way. It has dropped under 6 seconds now, but let's say 4.5 laps to go. So Mos Eisley is past Havoc Connor now, so has lapped him. So has the fresh air and the fresh run after Riker to the end of the Grand Prix. So I don't think they're going to catch the back markers further up, which looks like Hummer and Pombear. Look at that, Mos Eisley has pulled out over 5 seconds on Summer. Summers does have his teammate now almost within that one. Connor picking up another. How many's he got? Come on, let's have a look. Let's get the pens up. 15 seconds worth of penalties for Connor. So he is leading the penalties today. So Pipkey within, nearly within that second of Summers. I say it's not really going to be a fight. Summers with that 10-second penalty, so Pipkey is going to make up that position anyway. Brother Adam close to Skipper, so I'm trying to see if I'm trying to find people that are close together, because I say the gaps have formed. Pipkey now under a second on the back of his teammate. If he's going to go for a move down the start finish line. Excuse me. Here comes Pipkey up the inside. It's not going to be fault at all by his teammate. There we are, Pipkey up to the podium position. Summers in 4th. Mos Eisley still chipping away at that gap, 5.4 seconds. But it's going to be too late. Yes, he was Master Ranger, I just didn't want to mention that on screen. But yes, there's a potential for another one tonight. No, Brother Adam did make that move past Skipper. So after I jumped to the front just to see what was going on there. But Sauber's very closely together here. Composite chasing down his teammate Skipper, but Composite with 3-second penalty. Hummer now picking up a penalty, so 3 seconds there. Okay, so Summers is holding on to the back of his teammate, and Johnny is closing onto the back of Jack. And now overtakes Jack. Oh, Jack nearly hitting the back of him there. So we are on the penultimate lap. I think Jack is... Well, he'd be foolish to fight Johnny, to be honest. Obviously, with that 3-second penalty anyway, he's going to finish behind him. So, would it just be easier to just slot in and finish the race there? I will keep an eye on that. But what I want to do is just go to this man at the front. Been superb tonight, is all I can say. It's... yeah, pretty much a textbook race. Turn up, take pole position. I'm not sure if he's got fastest lap. He doesn't at the moment. Mos Eisley's got it 23.382, which is a pretty damn quick lap compared to everybody else. Nearest we've got is 24.6, which was NLD Rush. So yeah, a really, really strong lap there from Mos Eisley, but obviously couldn't keep that up lap after lap. But on to the last lap of the race now. As I say, Riker, I'm not sure how many victories Riker has to his name. I have certainly never commentated on one of his victories, and I've commentated on a lot of his races, so it is really, really nice to see, you know, if this potentially coming home for one of his first victories. Just trying to have a quick look, see if I can find anything on him at all before we cross the line, as to whether he has had any wins. He has had a win, yeah. 3 wins he has had, so this would be his 4th win for Delta T Racing. Combear now past Composite. Is he going to get past Skipper as well? No, he was looking at it, but it did not work out. But let's go back to Riker, who is 1 turn away from victory. And here he is coming down the start-finish line, weaves across to wave to his team, and an absolutely fantastic victory for him tonight. Riker, my hat off to you. That was superb. Mos Eisley coming home in 2nd, so good recovery from him. He will take 3rd place on the grid. Summers will come home on the Summers will come home in 4th, but will drop down due to those penalties. Johnny taking P4, P5 going to the championship leader Kazingle. Summers in 6th. NLD Rush will come home in 7th position. Pick up a few points for the Alpine team. 8th will be Ralph, or will it be Bog? Bog's trying to close. He doesn't have enough in it, so he finishes in 9th position. Andre down in 10th. So know what happened between Bog and Andre, unless Andre pitted again. But they were fighting quite closely. But yeah, Andre comes home in 10th. Brother Adam will come home and drop a few places there. I think we missed the end of that. I think the Salvers of Composite and Skipper finishing ahead of him in the end. Brother Adam in 13th there. Okay, so we'll get the final results out. So yeah, Master Ranger is saying he's done McLaren proud today. Well done, mate. So yeah, hats off to you, Riker. It was a really strong drive from you. I say dominant, no trouble at all for you, and I say good to see. Nice one to commentate on. Okay, so race winner, as we know, went to Riker. Mos Eisley picking up the fastest lap driver of the day, going to Ralph Albers, along with the most overtakes. Cleanest driver is Pip, or was Pip Key today. Okay, so official results. Riker taking the win, Mos Eisley on 2nd position, and Pipkey finishing off the podium. Then we have J5 Gaming in 4th, Kazingo in 5th, D Summers in 6th, NLD Rush in 7th, 8th go to Ralph Albers, 9th Barry Bogorowski, and the last points finisher Andre in 10th. Then we had Skipper Composite, Brother Adam, Pombear, Hummer, and Havoc Connor, and not a single DNF tonight. That was absolutely wonderful to see. So as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for those in the chat that joined in. I hope you enjoyed the race. That brings to an end round number 10. So just 2 rounds left to go. Are we going to have a title decider at the last race in Brazil, or is it going to be decided next week? I know Division 1 Benny's in a very strong position to take the Division 1 title, whereas here I think it could be any one of 3 drivers. And it could be very, very interesting going into the last race. But anyway, I won't waffle on. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week, Division 1 on Wednesday. Summers will be doing his fantastic comms again for the Division 1 team at Abu Dhabi. And I will be back myself next Thursday at 8 p.m. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the return of the F1. Hopefully the clipping has gone and it's a little bit more exciting, but we will